Hi everyone, thanks a lot for joining and welcome to our live stream. My name is Daniel, I work at IBF in marketing and I'm here with my colleague Ralph from sales engineering. So today's session is going to be pretty quick, about 15 minutes, and we'll talk about troubleshooting LTE and 5G networks. We'll walk you through a common scenario from a modern warehouse environment where connectivity is crucial. And also we'll talk about the best practices so you can troubleshoot quickly, easily, and cost effectively. The session has been recorded. You'll receive the recording in your email within the next few days. And also, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them during the session and we'll answer them at the end. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Ralph. Ralph, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Daniel. So today we talk about modern private networks, which are deployed in warehouses, factories, and all of them, they have a very common thing. They need to have 100% network because they need coverage. And to troubleshoot these networks, today we will talk about these solutions from IBWave, how you can really collect data in the field and troubleshoot. So why it matters? Because if there's an outage, you will have a bad customer experience. It will be very, very costly. And you need to take the control. Yes, you need to act immediately. You need to go out and check and troubleshoot and fix the problem. So why it can be hard? Because you need to have a simple and easy solution to do the troubleshooting, and it should be very, very fast. So modern warehouse, as an example here. The sensors which you are seeing here, the robots, they need coverage in a height of around 20 centimeters on the ground floor. So you need to design your network accordingly so that each of these AVGs, automatic vehicles, will get a signal even in between the racks. And the racks, they can be filled with boxes, metal boxes, and they could be full, they could be loaded, they could be empty. So any obstruction of the signals will block the signal to the robot and will cause an outage at the end. So this is really, really important. So how it should be. You should do a really, really proper network design at the beginning to make sure that you have everywhere coverage at this 20 centimeter height where the robots are. And you should do a survey for site acceptance once it's installed with your specific KPIs. So how good should be the signal? And here you can see like a red signal, magenta signal is good. The blue one is a cold signal, so it's a bad signal. So you should make sure really to achieve 100% of your coverage in 100% of the area, because if there's any area where you have an outage, no signal, it will be an outage and a bad experience for you. So really, really important. If things go wrong, so these robots are not working anymore, in most of the cases, you will someone will create a trouble ticket for you so that you know there's an issue in the field, something is not working anymore. So you need to be very, very quick. You need to get ready. You need to get the floor plan of that specific building, which is a warehouse in that case. So you can, if you don't have it yet, you can just download the floor plan from the management platform here. And once it's downloaded, you are ready to go in the field with a floor plan. And in this case, you already have the position of the antennas, small cells, access points, which are designed. And this is the basis for your troubleshooting. So first, get ready. Next thing would be grab your equipment. This is the small equipment here, the scanner and the spectrum analyzer. Take your tablet, which is an Android device in that case, and go out to the site and do the troubleshooting. So how to start really troubleshooting is you take this floor plan and you, in the first case, you identify with a spectrum analyzer. This is again spectrum analyzer on that small device here. It will open via USB connection the spectrum analyzer. You don't need any specific software for that. And once you have the spectrum analyzer running, it will show you immediately the frequency bandwidth, it will show you the signal strength, so it gives you all the information if there's any interference from any other signals which could create problems. You can switch to different frequency bands like 5G, LTE, any other technology, and it immediately will give you the spectrum. Yeah? And you have with a spectrum analyzer all the features like a standard common spectrum analyzer. And the next step would be switch to the PCI scanner, because with the PCI scanner, you can do either blind survey or you can monitor all the channels, which you already know. If you don't know the channels, you do blind scan and you will identify each channel to scan. If you know your channels, you can add these channels already easily in the scanner, and you press the start button, and then you're ready to go, and you will do a live scan of the network in your warehouse, for example. And this could be done remotely as well. If you have the small scanner somewhere in your warehouse, you could remotely access it and see the system is working or it's malfunction. Yeah? And once you know these channels, next step would be just go there and use the floor plan to record all these measurements from the scanner. Yeah? So you start a survey, you give a name to the survey, which would be like warehouse troubleshooting, for example, and make sure your scanner is connected. So it's initializing the scanner. On your tablet, it just needs the USB cable. So you have a tablet and you have your USB cable connected to your small scanner device. And once it's connected, you start on the floor plan. This is fast speed now because we do not have time to see each waypoint. And once you're finished collecting all the waypoints, it will show you the performance of the network. And the performance in that case is, let's say, interpolated over the whole building, warehouse in that case, and you can see that it's failing. So even if it's only 99%, but you need 100%, you see areas here which are blue. Blue is cold, so you have a bad signal here, which is for the sensor not enough signal. On all the channels, you have a very poor signal to operate this ABG. Yeah? So you can do a lot of analyzes here, go deep into the different channels, PCIs, and see the performance of each individual PCI. If you want, you can see the signal to noise and the interference, which is important as well, because if one antenna is not providing you a dominant survey, there could be interference from the different cells, creating a bad performance as well. And the interference could come from outside of the building, as macro interference. So in that case, make sure you're dominant inside the building. Quality index is important as well. So the RSRQ, RSRP, SNIR, these are the typical KPIs which you will measure when you are doing troubleshooting. And the first step, it's always RSRP. That's your signal strength. You know exactly how strong your network is and if there's any issue. So let's zoom into the area where you have a faulty, most probably faulty equipment or something like that, because you don't know yet. But this one seems to be this antenna where you have a poor coverage in that area. So you can add an annotation, and you can make with the same device you are doing the measurements, you can take a picture of that specific antenna and the location, and you can do markups on it, and this makes it easy for a field technician who has to go there now and change the antenna. He's getting all the documentation he needs in a digital format. And once that is done, you just save that. It's geo-referenced on your floor plan. So anytime you can access that push pin and you see the images behind. So once you're ready with your troubleshooting, you would either create a PDF file on site, which is your site documentation. You can hand over to the guy who needs to fix it, or you can upload this, the same annotations, pictures, measurements to the cloud, to manage the data there as a digital twin. Okay, so what what is necessary now? Now you have to take actions. Once you know that there's a problem, that there's might be a faulty equipment, you have to go there, replace the antenna, the small cell. Maybe there's a faulty cable, which someone has cut the cable by accident, whatever happened. So you need to replace that. Another issue could be a changing environment. So you build new racks. It's like a factory. Every year you change the environment in a factory. You're adding robots, things like that. And in the warehouse, that could be as well a new rack loaded with a lot of boxes, and you might need to relocate the antenna just to be more dominant in that case, to have a stronger signal. And you might need to add an antenna as well if that is needed. But that needs a little bit more design work than just if you know it's faulty and you just replace it and it works again. And all these units, you can see this. This is a typical small cell. You can see here it's not that small, but it's a small active antenna with a passive antenna integrated in an active device, which gives you the signal. And these are mounted somewhat, so it's easy to replace them. It's like a Wi-Fi access point in that case. And something else which is not in your direct control could be interference from different other systems. This could be an outdoor signal interfering with your indoor system. There's a macro base station outside from a macro network operator which has a very strong signal, and it interferes with your signal. In that case, again, it's your spectrum analyzer which you would use, it's your scanner which you would use just to take action. You know what to do, in which area you need maybe increase antenna, relocate antennas. These are all the different actions. But the other important thing is, after all that, if you have fixed the problem, you need to survey again. You need to make sure that after all the modifications, after your troubleshooting, you need to be sure that system is working again. So this is where you have the site acceptance survey. At the end, you should have everything should be fine here. There should be everywhere, let's say, very good signals, and no blue areas here anymore. So we make it really simple here for even if you are not an engineer knowing about the signals, even with the colors, we can easily identify this is working well, or there's a malfunction in the system. And this criteria is really important because that indicates, yes, I do have 100% coverage for my AVGs, or there's a malfunction, then I need to do more troubleshooting. And altogether, taking the measurements, taking the images, annotations, markups, everything is digital, stored in the file, and it can be uploaded to a management platform. And this is as well the same. You just start on the tablet. You don't need to install anything additional. You start on the tablet, your browser. You get access to all the projects like this warehouse. You just click on it and you have a visual view of your building, and you can see the surveys which you have just collected. You can see the simulations, the predictions of the signal inside the warehouse. So everything is digital and you have access to the data anytime, anywhere from the world. And this does not need to, you don't need to install any additional software for that. Because you take the browser to get access to the data, and the same for the small device, for the scanner, does not need to have any additional software installed on it. If you take a tablet, it's an Android device, where you install software on it which connects to your floor plan. So you get a floor plan loaded on the tablet, and you can start with the IBWave survey app directly to collect the data and do troubleshooting. So as a wrap up, really, its outages are really costly. So you get bad customer experience, so you need to take control immediately to fix that. You might not have time to ask someone else, third party, to do it. You just go there and check what is the problem. And for that, you need to have a simple and effective solution to make it easy. And this is what we provide with IBWave. Daniel?
All right. Yeah, thanks, Ralph. That was great. So we are almost at the end, but before we go to your questions, you have now the opportunity to try iWave Mobile Survey for free for 14 days. It's a great way to get a better feel of the solution, right? See if this could be the right fit for you and your company. And this doesn't come with a scanner, right? It's only the mobile application, but you can still use it on your Android device and scan for whatever is on your SIM card, right? And also, if you like what you saw here today, you can buy the iWave Mobile Survey with the Epic Prism Scanner online. We have a whole package for you, which also includes the iWave Unity Lite access, so you can manage and store the data in the cloud. So one package, one price, so you can just scan the QR codes and see yourself. And if you want to schedule a private demo or have any other questions, please contact sales@iwave.com and they'll take care of your request. All right. So with that, we can just leave it here for a minute or two so you have time to scan it. And we can go to your questions. And I see quite many, so thanks for that, and many good ones as well. So Ralph, I don't know if you can see the questions as well, but there's a good one from Justin, and I think we touched on it a little bit. And he's asking, will the analyzer also capture relevant neighboring operator cells? We have seen many cases where operator N78 interfere with private networks in a 3GPP compliant way.
Yes, for sure. I mean, the solution we are offering, the scanner supports all LTE and 5G frequencies globally. So you can select by country, and then you can select the right frequency bands, N78, 77, everything is supported here. And it's supporting not only LTE and 5G globally, we are adding now the VHF, UHF analog frequencies, and the whole unit here, it's software-defined radio. So you can, if there's an upgrade, 6G is coming maybe in a few years. Yeah, we just upgrade that with new software, so you don't need to purchase a new device, because the device supports frequencies from 70 megahertz up to 6 gigahertz. And this is covering most of the applications you have here, technologies in worldwide.
Right. There's a good question. Does industrial machinery create interference in the 5-6 gigahertz band, or is that not an issue?
So again, interference in the
from the machinery, right? If it creates interference in the 5-6 gigahertz band. Is the first question, right?
Interference. Yes, you will see the interference with the spectrum analyzer, and this is the great solution here. It has a spectrum analyzer integrated, so you can take any frequency, set it to a specific wanted frequency, and you can see if there's any signal, any spike or something in your frequency band which interferes here. From the signaling itself, it should not interfere, but I mean, that's why you have spectrum analyzer with you as a troubleshooting tool.
All right. There's a question. Is this solution suitable for underground coverage like metro project and tunnel coverage?
Yes, for sure. It basically works in any environment. So we have customers using that for mining. That's underground. It could be a macro coverage as well, but I mean, applications like in-train, underground metro stations, mining are covered, but as well the outdoor side. Yeah, so I mean, you could use that small device, and look how small it is and how lightweight it is. You can attach to a drone and do outdoor railway coverage, for example, with that, if you want to do that, or any other environment which is difficult to get access to by walking. You just use the drone for that. And for the tunnels, yeah, it will work as well. Yeah? I mean, inside the tunnels, you don't have GPS. Inside mining, you don't have GPS. So you need to set the waypoints on a floor plan. If you are outside in a macro environment, yes, for sure, you can use the GPS from our iBwave app. It will correlate with all the measurements from the scanner, and you have your outdoor recorded measurements with GPS reference.
Yeah,
And again, you
I
can
think
put that on a GIS system. That's the advantage of having GPS geolocated. Yes.
and I think you're also answering Sim's question here. He's asking, well, first of all, he says it's awesome tools, so thanks for that. But he says, is there a roadmap to assess RF data capture so that field engineers can get the breadcrumb locations automatically mapped than manually tapping on the floor plan? So I think that's exactly Ralph what you said, right? It has the GPS feature, so it automatically maps you wherever you go.
Yes. If you're outdoor, GPS works perfect with very high accuracy. If you're indoor, you usually don't have GPS, so it's the most accurate way is always set the waypoints manually. And there are two ways you can have set each waypoint. It will take measurements, or you can use the continuous walk, which is like you do set a starting point and then you set an end point, and in between it will interpolate the values. So you don't need to set as many waypoints. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's also a question how I choose which LTE/5G network I measure from Gregory.
So that's set in the settings in the IBWave app or in the PCI scanner. So you define the channels which belongs to, if you go for public operators, which belongs to the public operator. So you know these channels, or you can do a blind scan and you know the channels. If you're operating a private network, you know the channels which are in your private network, so you can easily type it in. You don't need to have the blind scan. But typically, yes, if you do public operators, you don't know which base stations around are using which frequencies. That's the blind scan. And with the blind scan, you can identify all of them. Yes.
And there's so many good questions. I'm honestly like jumping up and down. So, anyways, we'll answer all of you by email if we, don't get to all the questions today. But another great one from Kyle. He asked, where is the scanner usually installed in a monitoring situation? What other equipment is needed in this case?
I mean, the scanner itself works with any USB connection. It's a USB-C port, so you plug it to your Android device to get access to the spectrum analyzer, PCI scanner. If you use an Android device with the IBWave app, you have the floor plans and you have the waypoint settings. But you could connect it as well to a laptop if you want to just do static measurements somewhere in the, for example, again, warehouse, and you want to have that as a monitoring device somewhere. You just connect it and remotely get access to your laptop, and this one is connected. You only need a browser to open the Ethernet port of that device. So that could be any browser. It could be as well a browser on an iPhone if you want, just to get the spectrum analyzer and PCI scanner functionalities. So the software is installed on that device completely. So no need to install any software on a laptop or on an Android device to get access to the device. And the solution you need, the IBWave mobile survey app, which you can see here as well. This is the interface to your floor plans to make the waypoints setting on a floor plan. So that's why you need the mobile survey app. Otherwise, it's a static measurements. It's not like a walk test survey.
Yes. One other question here. For private cellular using CBRS frequency, how does blind scan work when you don't know start and stop frequency? An operator may be using or have multiple carriers on the radio using CBRS frequency.
I mean, in the PCI scan software or in the IBWave app, you can select the frequency bands. And from there it will do the blind scan. If you don't know which ones, you need to select all of them, which takes quite time. But that every scanner in the world works in the same way. If you don't know the frequency bands, if you don't know the channels, it has to scan everything. That's a scanner functionality, and this works with our small solution here in the same way as you go for any other big box. That's a scanner functionality. And so for private networks, in most of the cases, and I would say almost 100% of the cases for a private network, you know exactly which bands and channels you are deploying. And if there's an outage, you know which bands and channels you have to survey. So this helps a lot.
Okay. And Ralph, there's a question, what technologies, right, can the scanner do? Like we're talking about LTE 5G, but there's also P25 that you can do with the scanner, and now we're coming up, as
Exactly.
Ralph
If
mentioned
you look for
before,
the US market,
analog.
there's 25, right, which is public safety. Here in Europe, we have different frequency bands for the public safety. We are adding analog VHF, UHF now, so it's available, and it's the solution itself. It's made for LTE and 5G for the private networks, but as many as you've seen in all the questions today, it's about public networks as well. So no, there's no limitation itself. You could even put a SIM card in the IBWave mobile survey app in your smartphone, SIM card of telecom, Bell, whatever network operator worldwide. You just put a SIM card in and take that as a measurement of the specific operator frequency bands they have implemented at that location where you're measuring. So that's another option with the IBWave mobile survey app.
And Ralph, the integration, right? Like there's a question if it integrates with other IBWave solutions.
Yes, sure. I mean, that's part of the whole IBWave family where you have a survey tool like mobile survey, you have Unity as a management platform, and then there's design where you load the survey data into design tool, and in the design tool you make sure that your network is designed according to all the KPIs, a good signal, good quality, no interference, before you deploy the network. I mean, that should be the first step. The first step, if it's a brand new building, you should go out, do a survey just to see what signals are out there. Then you would take that survey to design the network, identify the proper antenna positions to be the dominant server inside that building. No interference from outside can, let's say, impact your mobile network inside. And then you install it, and then you do the site acceptance test again with the survey scanner solution, and everything will be integrated in the same IBWave format. So it's a standard worldwide. The survey tool speaks the same language than the design tool, so you can exchange data easily between them. There's a free IBWave viewer as well, where you can open the survey data in a free software just to view it. It's like a PDF viewer. You just open it and you see the data from the survey. You see the pictures you have taken at the survey. So it's all digital, and that's, I think, the most important. At the end, everything should be digital. Everyone wants to have a digital twin, and this includes everything. Your network design, your survey data, the pictures of the equipment, the locations, and everything should be as a digital twin available. So you can modify it at any time because it's digital.
And good that you mentioned Viewer, Ralph, because we have actually a new solution called Viewer Plus, which gives you more control, right? So if you view the files from your designer, now you have much more control over how you view the files, and you can move things around. You can see the properties of walls and materials and antennas. So you can take a look at that as well. We are way over time right now, but let's maybe take 2 more questions. For the rest of that, we'll get to by email. But Ralph, did you see any other interesting question you want to
Let me check that.
address here?
Is there public safety?
There's a lot, yeah.
Grid tests, that's one of the latest ones I see here. Yes, sure, that there's a grid test functionality built in mobile survey. So this is made specifically for public safety P25 applications. But if you are in a different country, you need a grid functionality. Yes, that is available here in the mobile survey app itself. What is the difference between regular passive antenna and your passive active antenna? I mean, the difference between passive and active antennas. I mean, if you look at our design, our survey tool, I mean, this one has one antenna. This is the passive antenna, which I mount to the device, and there's a small antenna. And if you get our our nice box here, which is the heavy duty box. There's another antenna as well with it. These are the passive antennas, yeah? And if you measure low frequencies like public safety, you use the larger antenna mounted to the device, and once it's fixed, you can measure it. If you look at the active component, which is, we take this one, yeah? That's mounted in the warehouse, on the ceiling, on the wall. This is an active component. So it's a transmitter, and it has an antenna, a passive antenna integrated in it. Yeah. So this is the difference between active and passive antennas. So hope this question is answered by that. Maybe one question is, does it create a report based on the findings? Yes, you create a PDF report directly on the device, yeah? Which you can sign off as well, yeah, if you want. Yeah? So, and hand it over to someone. Yeah? So a report will be generated with all the images you create and with all the surveys. So you don't need to go back to the office and take all the pictures and measurements and creating a document, a Word document or something like that out of it. Everything is automatically created for you. With just a click, you get a PDF with all the content, all the survey data, all the measurements automatically. I think that's what's needed, yeah, to be fast. Because as said, you need to be very fast to fix the issues, because any outage in such an environment is creating issues. So, more questions?
Hey Ralph, did you answer the question about grid testing? Is there a public safety feature with grid test? Oh, you did. Okay.
Yes, I answered already on that.
Excellent.
While you were looking for the QR code.
Great. All right. Well, I think, guys, we can let you go now. Well, thanks a lot for joining. If you have any questions, please reach out to me or Ralph or sales@ibrief.com. We'll be very happy to answer to you any follow-ups, and we'll try within today and tomorrow to go through the rest of the question. There's a plenty, so thanks a lot for that. And yeah, we'll see you in the next session.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.